Let's talk Mets. Should the Mets bring back Matt Harvey, the Dark Knight, aka Two-Face? I saw this was a question from SNY. There was a video, I guess, posted by Harvey on IG of him on a random mound on a random field. It looked like a high school baseball field, just him and a catcher. The cameraman's behind him, and it's literally one pitch, and the glove popped. There's no question about it. The glove popped, and it had some movement on it, and it looked good. We didn't get a speed on it. I'd guess upper 80s, low 90s, I'd have to say. And people went nuts, started jizzing everywhere and just saying, we got to bring him back. I mean, we got to bring him back. And that was before all this hoopla with Thor went down. And now that he has gone down, people are like, oh, well, now you got to bring him back. It's like, this is like 2 years ago. We were done with him. And he went, I don't even know where he went. Did he go to Cincinnati and then he went to Anaheim? So he hasn't stuck anywhere. And so it's such a typical Mets move to bring him back. I don't know that you really should. I mean, maybe if he stays in shape and continues to show you progress and you keep checking in with him and he keeps looking good, maybe. I don't know. I think we have enough arms, to be honest. And I don't know that you want him and his bullshit in the locker room anymore. Do you? In the clubhouse? I don't know. It's not a hard pass for me, but I'm not buying. I don't even know what his numbers were. But I mean, if he's out there and available and no one's really chomping at the bit, I don't see why we need to. I mean, take a flyer on him for like a super low contract, I guess, if that's even possible. But oh my. So that's a no to Matt Harvey, I think. I'm not saying like slam the door, and never pick up his phone calls, but like keep your ear to the ground and maybe, I mean, that would be, in an ideal fantasy world, like they sign him when he's, fully back up to serviceable level for like a playoff push. But the big news is Thor tore his UCL. God damn it. And he's going to need Tommy John. So looks like that would put him out until probably next April, possibly into next summer. So I don't know. I mean, have we seen the last of Noah Syndergaard? I don't know, because like didn't Wheeler have a Tommy John surgery, and didn't DeGrom have a Tommy John surgery? So it's not like a death knell. If anything, it actually it gives you a second life, I think. I don't know. I've never had Tommy John. I kind of wish I did have Tommy John, because it sounds like it's just a godsend for your arm. So what does that do to the rotation? What does that do to the bullpen? Well, we no longer have to worry about putting starters like Waka or Matz in the bullpen. I think now you can just put them in the starting rotation. So you have Stroman, DeGrom, Porcello, Waka, Matz. Which, I mean, I don't hate that rotation. I mean, I sound like a broken record, but the thing about Thor is like, yeah, he's dominant for like 5 innings, maybe 6, and then you have to rely on your bullpen anyway. So it's like, would you rather have 5 or 6 0-1 2-run ball, and then the guy you bring in the 6th or 7th gives up a run or 2? The guys you bring in the 6th and 7th give up a run or 2 or 3. What's the use? Meanwhile, you have Walker or Matz, and it's like maybe they give you 6 or 7, and they only give up 2 or 3 runs. You're saving a run or 2. So I don't know. Paul Sewald and Daniel Zamora were optioned at AAA Syracuse. That leaves our bullpen with 7 arms. Edwin Diaz, Dylan Betances, Seth Lugo, Jurice Familia, Robert Gazelman, Justin Wilson, Brad Bratch. I like that bullpen. I mean, I know there's Lugo had the thing with the toe, and I mean, Familia's lost weight. Who knows where Gazelman is at right now? Wilson came on strong last year. Bratch was a good addition on the cheap. Diaz didn't look so great, so hot at the beginning of spring training, but maybe this stay-at-home order, he's quarantined, and he can block out all the noise, meditate, get into a state of zen, and come out firing fucking gas. That'd be great. I like that bullpen. I mean, who knows? I know Betances is probably not at the top of his game. He had the injury last year. But if you get every single one of those guys to just play average baseball, to just pitch at the average, we're going to the playoffs. That's all you need. I mean, think about it. If Diaz was just average last year, we make the playoffs. And that's with, an inconsistent bullpen for majority of the year. I mean, they came down the stretch. They were pretty, they held their own. I think they were one of the better bullpens, but I really like that bullpen. It's just like, can everyone stay healthy? Can everyone just stay healthy? But I guess the bigger news is like the fact that MLB has decided that this year, even if they don't play the season, this is where, if you come to me for like accuracy, truth, facts, hate to let you down, but I'm not that guy. All I know is I heard that MLB said if this season is postponed or canceled, that these players will still be credited with a year of service, which means everyone that was supposed to be a free agent after this season will continue to be a free agent, right? So guys like Stroman, Cespedes, Lowry, Betances, Porcello, Ramos, Wilson, Waka, Marisnik, Brock, will enter free agency as they're scheduled. So even if they don't play this year at all, that counts as a year of service and they get to enter free agency, which that's, I think they're still paying them this year, but not full rate. I think I heard that as well. There's also the idea that they're going to try and play games in an empty stadium, which we all saw that happen when during the Baltimore riots when the Orioles played the Rangers back in, was it 2012, 2013, 2014 maybe? And they played an empty stadium. That was eerie. So I guess, I'm all right with playing in an empty stadium. How about not to get off topic, it's somewhat related, but the WWE just continuing to wrestle? I feel like if there's any sport that probably should be discontinued, it's wrestling. When it comes to coronavirus, I mean, that's all you're doing is touching each other, touching your face and rubbing your face all over the butt and the taint and all that jazz. How can you continue? It's like they're wrestling with no audience, which that is tough to watch. That's tough. It is funny too, because wrestling is so dependent on the pulse of the crowd and getting heat, generating heat. And, you get the crowd to pop, and that's just not happening. I watched probably 5. Woo. 5 minutes of a match, and it was like a bunch of guys just yelling at each other and throwing each other around. I was like, what is this? It's like without the crowd, it's not exactly what is making all the sorority girls cream in their shorts. So baseball in an empty stadium, I don't know. I feel like in order to liven that up, you know how the XFL, it's like, all right, the level of play was, I guess, slightly better than the AAF, whatever the hell that was last year. So the level of play is like similar, maybe a little bit better, but like the broadcasts were better because they just got better broadcasters who brought more to the game. I think they should just start fucking experimenting with broadcasters on these games that are played in empty stadiums. Someone like Pat McAfee, just bring him in, bring back Dennis Miller for Christ's sake. Who gives a shit? Just bring all kinds of different personalities in the booth and really have fun with it. I don't know. I feel like that's the way to go. But July 4th as the start date. Ooh, brother. I don't know how. Although, how lit will July 4th be? If that's actually when this whole thing is able to blow over, Mario, that's like week 1 of just like the return to normalcy, like the quarantine's over, the lockdown's over, and we're pretty sure the virus is donezo. July 4th, not a bad time to celebrate. Freedom! Oh my God, freedom, baseball, outside, grilling. Might go down as the best 4th of July ever? Question mark. Forefathers. All right, so Anthony DiComo, he he writes for MLB.com. He gave his ranking of the top 5 Mets first basemen of all time in franchise history. Number 5, he had Pete Alonso, which was, whoa, dude. 1 season under his belt, and Alonso locks down number 5 all time. That is saying something. And I wonder if, I kind of already know the answer here, but if it were me and I go out there rookie year and I pop off record number of home runs for not only a rookie, but Mets franchise history and blah, 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 isn't the pressure increased for your second year, for the second year back? You come back and it's like, are people expecting you to hit another fucking 50 home runs? No, right? I mean, I know I'm not. I'd be happy with, I would say 20 would be slightly disappointing. I think if he hits lower than 20, that's probably a huge disappointment. This is, of course, over the 162 game season, which is not going to happen. So just, fucking ballpark it, whatever it is, whatever correlates to that ratio, whatever the proportion is. But I'd say, over 162, if he hits less than 20, you got to be like, whoa, what happened here? Like, are we in another fucking Brady Anderson, Chris Davis situation? 20 to 30, I think between 20 and 25, I'd be a little, but that's okay. That's all right. 25 to 30, I think that's right where he will be. If he hits a little more than 30, I'd be like, wow. If he hits 35 or more, it's kind of like, it's a little scary. I get a little fear boner popping off in my pants, my pantalones, because we've got a certified. I mean, I was willing to sign this guy to like the longest of long-term contracts last year after what he did. And if he pops off for another 35 this year, it's like, just lock him down forever. So he's at number 5. So DiComo mentioned like it's a bold move to put him at number 5, but you look at the other candidates and you have, I guess Lucas Duda is probably the number 1 omission. Duda was, I fell in love with the Duda. The Duda abides. Like, I fucking love Lucas. I loved everything about him. And California guy who's just kind of mild mannered and just had a sweet swing. And unfortunately will probably be remembered for the one throw. Unfortunately, which stinks because he had to battle. Ike Davis had the first base pretty much locked up, and then he went to a kind of a slump, and Lucas came on. He had to play right field for a while. He endured a slump. I think he had to go down to the minors for a little bit, so he had his struggles up and down. But like, man, there were times where he would rip the ball. I mean, seams busted, and it just looked good to watch. And especially if you're at the game and you can hear it, the crack of the bat. I mean, he just like he would put holes in fences. So, dude is a tough omission, but like I don't know that you can argue with fucking Alonso, man. Everything that he did and in one season just overrules all those seasons with Duda and Ike Davis. Which a lot of people were in love with Ike Davis too. Number 4 was Carlos Delgado, who the Mets acquired at the ripe old age of 33, and he put up 3 really solid numbers for a first baseman. Power numbers, ribeyes. I mean, that 2006, 2007, 2008, those teams, it boggles my mind how we didn't win a freaking World Series in those 3 years. Ugh. Oh, boy. It's tough to swallow. And it's been fucking 12 years at least. Okay. But yeah, that's another guy where it's just like the ball. He was different from Duda. Duda, it's just like, it was just, you could tell he just crushed the ball right off the bat. It was just that the swing is so massive and hard, and the ball would just take off. With Delgado, he would hit the ball, and you'd be like, that's like, from watching on TV, you think, oh, it's a pop out, it's a fly ball, it's a fly out. But the way that Gary Cohen reacts, it's just like, that is long gone. It's just like, wow. So the power on Delgado, just amazing. Number 3 is John Olerud, and it's bittersweet seeing his name on the list because he was a guy that I really liked. And I know he caught a lot of shit for, wearing his helmet at first. I know Ricky Henderson, when he joined the Mets, made fun of him. But my God, he was such a good hitter. He was pretty good at first too. Highest qualified batting average and on-base percentage in Mets history pound for pound. Olerud was the most effective first baseman in Mets history. Hit .354 in 98 and finished 12th in MVP voting. His batting average was .315. On-base percentage was .425. Yeah, I mean, he joined 97 and was there in 98 and 99. And then he went to Seattle 2000, which stinks because if we had him in 2000, would have been nice. Would have been real nice. Nothing against like Todd Zeal. But if we had Olerud, Ventura, Alfonso, Piazza, it's a sweet lineup. So I liked his swing too. He had a nice swing. But you forget, like, he also hit for a little power too. He had like 22 ding dongs, 93 RBIs in 1 year. So, didn't miss a game, I think, in 98, something like that. So Johnny O. I guess he was there with Seattle when they had like the world's best regular season record, 108 wins or something like that, and they lost the Yankees in the playoffs. But yeah, Olerud, solid dude. Number 2, they had Ed Kranepool, who holds the Mets record for most games played, 1,853 games, which that's definitely more than 10 years of service. He hit over 300 only twice, and he eclipsed 15 homers just once. So that's like the definition of just like, I'm going to do the bare minimum to keep my starting job. It was also back in like the 60s and 70s where it's like, I don't think free agency was a big thing. I think you only got traded if like people like despised you or if you wanted out. But like Kranepool seems like just a likable guy who's just like, yeah, I'm cool here at first, batting 250 and hitting a dozen home runs a year. That's cool with you guys. And the Mets were like, yeah, sure, why not? I mean, it didn't hurt that he had come up with some clutch hits during the 69 World Series. Was he around for the 73 World Series? I guess, yeah. But that was before my time, so I can't speak much to him. Know the name, haven't seen him play a whole lot, but that's going to be tough to beat. I guess David Wright would have been the closest if he had actually stayed healthy all those years. And then, of course, number 1, Keith Hernandez. 11 Gold Glove awards, most all-time by a first baseman, 8th most by a player of any position. He's inducted in the Mets Hall of Fame in 1997 and is not in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. What a load of malarkey, as Mr. Biden would say. So that's the Mets. Oh, man, Keith Hernandez. God damn. How do you get, why not? Why not? Why not? What is missing from his repertoire that you wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame? I mean, I assume it's, I'm biased because he's been in the Mets booth for so long now that we've got to know him that way. And he's provided so many great moments in the booth that, like, if you took away the booth, would people still remember him and would he still be famous? And it's like, well, he was on Seinfeld. Take that away. It's like, well, yeah. You take all that stuff away, but I don't know. You just have to, I guess you just have to rely on his stats on the field. But I mean, I don't think the Mets win the pennant, the World Series at all. Any of those years if Hernandez is not in the lineup. So, and if you haven't watched I Am Keith Hernandez, we used to watch it on DVD, digital video disc, back in the mid-aughts. Mid to late aughts. And that is a hell of a ride. It is like it's a completely fictitious documentary about Keith Hernandez, but it is hilarious. And I wonder if it's online. I should probably look that up. So that's the Mets. I mean, my fucking nose. Woo-wee. I don't even know what to say about the Mets at this point. I don't even know if we're gonna have a season. If we do, the stupid video game simulation that's going on has the Marlins at 6-1 atop the NFC East. Football brain. NL East. The Marlins 6-1, top of the division. So yeah. And the Mets are 2-5 was their record the last time I checked. They were like next to last. I guess the Phillies were dead last or something like that. I don't know. Whatever. I mean, it's a video game simulation. How seriously can you take it? Right. But I wouldn't be shocked if they did start the season like that, and then turned it on. It always seems like we do okay in April. I think we do really well in April. Not as good in May, and then June, July we just bottom out, and then August, September we usually turn it back on, if we do turn it back on. So very curious to see how that pans out.